Good day to all the listener and all you guys who want to watch this video. Okay, let's start. This is a summary learning video of some of the topic we tackled from prelim to final. Institutional correction or the fourth pillar. Historical background. 13th century, securing sanctuary. In 13th century, criminal could avoid punishment by claiming refugees in a church for a period of 40 days, at the end of which time he has compelled to leave the realm by a road or path assigned to him. In 13th century, the individual still have the right and to be respected. 14th state England, torture as a form of punishment became prevalent, or a common or widespread punishment. 16th century, transportation of criminals in England was authorized at the end of the 16th century. Russia and other European countries followed this system. 17th century to late 18th century, death penalty become prevalent as a form of punishment. In 17th century and 18th century, the death penalty is very common and a widespread punishment. Galls or jails, pre-trial detention facility operated by English sheriff, or galls, jails. Galley is long, low, narrow, single-deck ship propelled by sails, usually rowed by criminals, a type of used for transportation of criminals in the 16th century. 16th century. Hawks, discreet transportation, former warship used to house prisoner in the 18th century. Converted it to means relieving congregation of prisoners were also called as the floating hells. The primary school of penology, the classical school, it maintains a doctrine of psychological Hinduism or free will, that the individual calculates pleasure and pains in advance of action and regulates his conduct by the result of his calculation. In classical school though, a man is a free will theory in Bricaria. A man is responsible for his act and with the absolute free will to the act. In neoclassical school, it maintained that while the classical doctrine is correct, generally it should be modified in certain details. Since children and lunatic can calculate the difference of pleasure from pain, they should not be regarded as criminals, hence they should be free from punishment. In neoclassical school, base jumpers are free wills, but lunatics and minors don't have the capacity or free will for their actions, hence they should be free from punishment. Next, the positivist Italian school. The school that denies individual responsibility and reflected punitive reaction to crime and criminality. It adheres the crimes as any other act. It is a national phenomenon. Criminals are considered a sick individual who needs to be treated as and treated program rather than punitive actions against them. And positivist school and positivist school is the first school to use science. Also state that criminal is a natural phenomenon and crimes is a natural phenomenon and a criminal is considered as a sick individual and need to be treated. Babylonian Sumerian Codes. Code of King Hammurabi, Babylonian, about 1990 BC. Created as the oldest code prescribing savage punishment, but in fact, Sumerian code were nearly 100 years older. King of Hammurabi considered as the first legal code. It is also famous for its harsh punishment. Romanian and Greek code. A Justinian code, 16th century AD. Emperor Justinian of Rome wrote his code of law, an effort to match the desirable amount of punishment to all the possible crime. However, the law did not survive due to the fall of the Roman Empire, but left a foundation of Western legal codes. The 12 Tables represented the earliest codification of the law of Romans until the time of Justinian. It is also a collection of the legal principles engraved on metal tables and set up on the forum. Next is the Greek of Draco. Greek Code of Draco. In Greek, Code of Draco, harsh code that provides punishment for both citizen and slave in a covert primitive. Greek were the first society to allow any citizens to personate the name of the injured party. Means, in Greek of codes, the family victim is pwede mag-avenge for the victim. The Bulgarian Code of in 500 AD specified punishment according to the social classification of offenders, dividing them into nobles, middle class, and lower class, and specifying the life there. In Brazilian codes, classic early code in the Philippines, Kalancha codes, the second oldest known written code of the Filipino codes and penal codes of Raja. Kalancha is the third chief in Brunei, and it was written as Kalancha after he submitted his overlord Raja Bizar, consisting the 8 orders per sugo. It runs as follows. Kalancha is the oldest code in the Philippines. It is the order or the punishment engaged in punishing or depending to the weight of the offense. Maragtas codes, or also known as the Code of Sumakwil, the oldest known written body of laws in the Philippines. Early prison, Mamertine Prison, the only Romanian place of confinement which is built under the main sewer of Rome. Walnut Street Jail, originally constructed as the detention jail in Philadelphia, it was converted into a state of prison and became the first American penitentiary. Age of Enlightenment. Atong Age of Enlightenment is the famous has the right to be suspected. The pioneers, William Pence, Charles Mastique, Voltaire, Cesar Bonis, Beccaria, Jeremy Bentham, Cornelio, John Howard. The reformatory movement. Judicial condition. The productive of suffering without harboring affecting the integrity of the human personality. In fact, suffering. Second is the commensurate with the offense. Differentiate crime must be punished with the different penalties. Commensurate penalties. Personal. The guilty one must be the one to punish and no proxy. Sinong may sala, siyang managot. Legal, the consequence must be accordance with the law. Legal, dapat legal ang pagbuhat. Equal for all the person. Walang nakakaangat sa batas. Certain, no one must escape its effect. The law is law. Correction change the attitude of the offender and become the law-abiding citizen. Duration of penalties. Reclusion perpetua is 20 to 40 years. Reclusion temporal 12 years and 1 day to 20 years. Prison mayor 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. Prison correction 6 months to 1 day to 6 years. Arresto minor 1 month and 1 day to 6 months. Arresto minor 1 day to 30 days. Bound to keep the place. Disciplinary on part of the court. Coverage of bureau. Classification of sentence. Insular prison, or those sentenced to upper term and sentence of 3 years and 1 day to life imprisonment. Those sentenced to upper terms of imprisonment cited above appeal the judgment and are unable to file bond for their temporary liberty. Provincial prisoner. Those prisoners sentenced to suffer terms of imprisonment from 6 months and 1 day to year are fined not more than 1,000 pesos or both. City prisoners. Those sentenced to suffer terms of imprisonment from 1 day to 3 years are fined or not more than 1,000 pesos or both. Municipal prisoner. Those confined on municipal jail and served to be from 1 day to 6 months. Classification of sentence. Lock-up jails, ordinary jails, work jails, farm jails. Administration procedure in prison. Receiving na yung prisoners. Wala na.